Robert, we'll get going in a couple of moments here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Nice hood.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm outside. That's where I get the best signal.
Hey, Robert, can you, hear us? Our, camera is, not working at the moment.
I can hear you.
All right, well, we'll proceed that way then. Okay, it is 7:03 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Smithfield Township Board of Supervisors. I'd ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Present are myself, Chair, Jacob Pride, Chair of the Board of Supervisors, Vice Chair Robert Levenheim via Zoom, Supervisor Brian Barrett here, and our engineer John Tressler and Office Manager Julia Heilica. Our solicitor Ron Karasak is excused for the evening as he is double booked. Our first order of business is considering the minutes of the June 22nd, 2021 regular business meeting. Robert, Brian, have you guys had a chance to take a look at those?
Yeah, I did, both of them. And I have no problems making a motion that we approve both of them, but.
Oh, we actually don't have minutes for the July 14th one yet.
Well, I'll be damned. So,
But your motion still stands for the June 22nd?
definitely.
Okay, all
That-
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I will move that we table the July 14th, 2021 minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public comments on the agenda. This is on items that are included or not included, not necessarily comments on the voting or discussion items. Does anyone in the room wish to offer any comment, or anybody else on Zoom? Hearing none, we're going to proceed to new business. The first up is consider the special event permit for Delaware Water Gap Fire Department for September 25th, 2021, which is a wrestling show fundraiser at Minnesink Park. Before us, we have the application itself, as well as a certificate of insurance for the fire company. I am told that the wrestling promotion itself, their policy expires in August, so therefore they will not have a new policy that covers this until August, at least August 1st. So, in that case, I would move that we grant the permit pending the receipt of the certificate of insurance from ECPW.
Yeah, I'll second that motion, Jacob.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are we waiving the permit fee?
I will also move that we waive the special event permit fee for the aforesaid application.
Is that the motion?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, our next item is 8B, discuss Bruce Sandy's letter of interest on the Smithfield Township Planning Commission. Bruce had attended the last Planning Commission meeting. He's an upstanding citizen. Bruce, would you like to talk about yourself for a couple of moments? Introduce yourself to us.
35 years in the construction industry. I only own iron shop, sheet metal shop, union shops. I've done a lot of projects for Donald Trump, HRH, Leon DeMattis. I've worked on it with a lot of architects, but there's a lot of issues and designs don't go the way they're supposed to go. Just for an example, Montefiore Hospital, I was running the ductwork and it's a brand new hospital with operating rooms and the fresh air duct was open the loading house.
Wow.
So you're gonna get diesel fumes in the operating rooms. The architect has to be a white guy. So I made them cost a lot of money because I put the duct in real quick. And then they had to rip it all out and then redo it. That's just one of many things. with the American Legion, and I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm the commander of the American Legion over here. I started as a board in my community. We took it away from the bank, finally getting things done in our community. I stepped away for a little bit, but I'm on. If you want a project done in the community, you want to do something in your house, you got to come through me. You got to give me the plan. I just stopped the lady. Everybody approved her running because she had a lot of flooding problems, but she wanted to run it into our swale. Can't do that. Then it's just going to cause our pump station to have more problems on the road. I just live in the community, in the township, and I've always felt if I live in the area, I want to be part of it to make sure things go right. And help make things go right.
Absolutely.
You know, I never sat back. My father was a labor leader. He was a national vice president of the Post Office Union for many, many years. So I grew up with all that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Getting involved, helping people and all that. Like I said, just now with the Legion. We just started another bingo for Special Olympics. And I tell people, you want to use the place, it's here. You got an event, as long as don't conflict with somebody else, we're here. We're not looking to make money, we're here to support the community and the efforts of, like we have East Stroudsburg High School. Every Thursday, bingo, helps all the members in the school,
For sure.
we think we'll give you a break on my taxes.
Yeah.
Hey, never go to hell.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Robert.
well, I think we would be privileged to get Bruce on the planning commission.
Absolutely. Does anybody have any questions?
You have a question for me?
Are you sure?
If you knew what I went through in the American Legion, to move those old guys that have been doing the same thing over and over for years and smoking, I can take an iron. Trust me.
Sounds
One of
great.
the hardest things to do is take smoking away from it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, years and years of,
Yeah.
it's one of the hardest things in the world to quit.
Yeah. Well, that said, I'd move that we appoint Mr. Bruce Sandy to the Smithfield Township Planning Commission for the term ending January 3rd, 2022. Do I hear a second?
Second there. Oh,
Second.
Second by Mr. Bumenheim. All in favor?
aye.
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 You are going to get confirmation of your appointment. We'll send you a letter, and your next meeting, I think, is August 12th.
24th.
Are they?
I'm on the 24th.
Oh, well, there is a joint session on the 24th, but your first regular meeting should be August 12th. So, we'll see you there, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
The reason for the abridged term is that, according to the municipality's planning code, we have to stagger the terms. So in an effort to get them properly in place, this one ends then, and then we'll revisit the appointment come the reorg meeting in January. So, yep. All right. Our next item is
Welcome aboard, Bruce, by the way.
Our next item is 8C, considering the draft joinder deed and lot consolidation application. I know, Julia, you had asked Ron and John to review this.
I did. Ron's been a little bit busy with other things, so he hasn't had the time to approve it. But John?
I didn't send out anything formally, but I did in fact go through it. I think it's certainly adequate, and I think it provides a needed guide for what we should do. You have an application fee of $375. I think that's adequate, assuming that they submit all the information and it is reasonably correct. I think that's fine. If it isn't, I'm not sure what we do about that, but we certainly don't like to spend a lot of time on these, and we just make sure that the deeds are accurate with respect to the plot plan, and well, I think it's good.
Excellent. I suppose we can await consideration until Ron, yeah.
Okay.
But Brian, do you have any questions? Robert, do you have any thoughts on this? I know that we talked about it at our
None for
last,
me.
Nothing for me either.
Okay.
No, yeah, I think it's, as you said, it's a step up, that's for sure.
Good. Well, since we'll wait as courtesy for Ron, I'll entertain a motion to, table this to our August 10th meeting. Does anyone want to make such motion?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll make
Second.
that one.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
8:10, Jacob.
Oh, yeah, 8:10.
Sorry.
No, you're
Aye.
right. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is discussing with Zelenkowski
Aye.
Axelrod LLC proposal for the American Rescue Plan funds, which now we know we received our first installment.
We did, they officially cleared the bank on the 14th of this month, so we're good to go. We do not
Nice
have-
job, by the way.
Thank you.
Sincerely.
We do not have the, final review from the Treasury yet. The comment period actually closed on Friday of last week for that. We're expecting to get final rules sometime at the end of August or beginning of September. And once we have their final rules, we'll be able to go through, find out what we can and cannot do with this, and then proceed forward. In the meantime, though, this Zelenkowski Axelrod proposal, Brian, thank you so much for sending it. It is a proposal for $19,000 for Zelenkowski Axelrod to walk us through the process, help us with the reporting of the funds that we will have to do once a year, and making sure that we don't have any unpleasant surprises with misuse of the funds.
In our audits and everything else. And as they say, the last conversation I had with them, I said, listen, this is a lot of good money. Don't, trust me, we're gonna get our money's worth. You may have to get a room up here. They're very accommodating, so. What do we think? $791,000? I think, Jacob, you hit that in the last meeting. You were
Yeah,
pretty close to
actually even a little more. Now, it's about $799, in total.
Stand by.
that. We figured 791 if it was, but it's,
Yeah, it's $790 and change right now. There are still
Oh, was the first half slightly more than the second?
no, it's two installments of $395,544 and change.
Yeah.
So it'll be $790,000 and change.
All right, maybe I did my math wrong. In any case, it more than covers, the added expense of Zelenkowski Axelrod, which is great. Now, I know that Supervisor Mike Dwyer from Middle Smithfield suggested that the county commissioners kick in to pay for this for the $50 million that they're getting. I'd love to see that, but, I think we should at least, consider retaining them, in the interim.
and I think, at least what I'm hearing on the street is that, if anything, the county commissioners want us to chip in.
Yeah.
And take some of our funds, all of our municipalities, and,
Oh.
but, yeah, what do you think?
Well, would you like to make a motion on this, Brian?
Yeah, I would, I do have, confidence in them, and from what I've seen and heard and read about them, they're a really good firm. So I'll make a motion that we employ, Zelenkowski and Axelrod, to serve, during the duration of, this program, the ARPA, as our consultant and advisor, and that's, at price of $19,000.
Second. All in
I'll
favor?
second Brian's motion.
Yep.
Aye.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Great.
Yep.
Good.
Aye.
Our next item now.
I think that's a good move for us, Robert, and, that kind of money. We'll see. All right.
Great.
Yeah.
Zelenkowski.
Our next, order of business is, 8E, Smithfield Gateway Update, and we have Mr. Doug Olmsted here to speak with us.
Two topics I wanted to touch on are some plan revisions and the review of the development agreements.
The negotiations with Kirkwood aren't going as quickly as we would like them to go. So, we came up with some suggested changes to the existing plans, which we consider de minimis, and worked with, John Pressler and his people on what those proposed changes would be, which basically boils down to removing a couple of lots from the plan that we're not working in that area anyway. And on the land development plan, just hiding or removing the road improvements beyond the limits of where we stated on the plan that there was a note that the work for phase 1A was gonna stop at this point, but we continue to show the work going out that way. We're just removing that from the plan. So we think if we make those changes along with the needed notes and stuff, that would be de minimis enough change that we can come to your next meeting and in the interim, provide the revised plans for review by the engineering solicitor so that they can be reapproved or reaffirm the approval at your next meeting.
With changes that are felt to be de minimis.
That is correct.
Does our solicitor have this in his hands now?
He has the proposed changes that were sent out to him last week.
July 14th.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, but I think we're in a position that at your next meeting on August 10th, we'll be able to get this thing.
So you'll get it to him in plenty of time and John to see.
I was working with Doug with this, and I agree. If anything, the initial submission was probably overly broad for what they're really intending to do with this phase. So because of the complications with their transaction with Kirkwood, I think it's better just to leave that out. It does not affect phase 1. And, all the information that is on the plan for phase 1A isn't gonna change, so that's why we consider it de minimis. We're just eliminating some extraneous information off to the side.
Sure.
And, so I don't have a problem with that.
Fairly.
And I actually received draft copies of the revised plans, but they didn't come in until 4 or 6. So I want a chance to look at them before I forward them on to John and Ron.
Sure.
For their review. So that's where we stand as far as the plans are concerned. Developers agreements, reviewed the comments from Ron. I really don't have any issues with, any of the comments that he raised. There is a couple little minor tweaking items that we put on there. We expect to send out, a revised, updated developers agreement with exhibits, tomorrow. There's 9 exhibits. I've already got 6 of them ready to go. One of them is just a document that we received from, Mark Wolf. That's the collateral, the assignment of the, stuff.
Sure.
Of all the various things, but, we're very close to resolving that so that, I'm thinking by the August 10th meeting, that we should be ready to rock it.
Right. Does it, include the point Julia made about, I think, the 3 separate metros?
Excuse me. Yes, the rewrite will include the breakdown and so.
Okay.
And the numbers will be blank, and we can find out that number, as we go. So that's all I have with respect to an update.
Any of my colleagues have any questions on, that?
No, I did send an email out late this afternoon. I don't know if you received it or not, Doug.
I did get it, I just hadn't had a chance to look it up.
Okay, the one comment that I raised, which, I think has to be addressed, was that you said that you won't ask for a occupancy permit until all approvals are received from outside agencies, which included PennDOT, BCRA, actually the Smithfield Township Sewer Authority, Monroe County Conservation District. Well, you're gonna need those approvals, and you're actually gonna need their infrastructure prior to your occupancy permit. So that language doesn't seem to be appropriate to me. You might wanna take another look at that.
Okay,
And that, you got that, I saw your reply, it was, late afternoon.
Right.
That's good.
You think that can be resolved in a way that
Well,
raises it?
the other option we have, and I'm just raising this now, I have to talk to Jim and to our attorneys about it, but the other option could potentially be these items have to be addressed before we pick up the building.
I think you need your approvals before your building permit, and
Well, I
you're
know
gonna need the infrastructure before you get an occupancy permit, or you're not gonna be able to flush your toilets or any of that.
Okay.
All right. I guess we'll know more about that in the interim then.
We're looking at, was it August 10th?
When you have your meeting on
Right.
August 10th,
Yeah.
it'll be on the agenda for that, because right now, I think the closing has been pushed, like, someplace between August 10th and August 6th.
Okay.
And those are the construction
And that's
loans.
an issue when you have 6 attorneys that you're dealing with, things take,
That's 5 too many.
some might say 7 too many.
Well, I would say, oh, no, wait a minute, he's not here. I agree with you. Yeah.
They say the same thing about the engineers, so that's all I have until then.
I think there's darts in here or something. One quick question, is the boring is really getting going now, right?
Oh, my God.
Yes. I'm gonna assume, I haven't been out here the last couple of days, but I'm gonna assume that they're probably halfway underneath 209.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On the other side, I guess we'd call that the east side, it's amazing. And the ground is I thought it would be all rock and stuff, but it's.
I know.
It's amazing
But
that,
you'll hit rock.
I've seen.
They're praying for rock, actually.
Really?
Yes, because the bit works much better in rock than it does in soil. So
Because it's
the
just.
soil,
It takes longer, right?
other issues like things caving in all around them,
Yeah.
to be able to deal with. So they're praying that they hit rock pretty soon. It's one of the few times I've heard a developer say, please, let's find rock.
Does anybody have anything else for?
But it's just a comment on that, I travel it, of course, enough, and no delays whatsoever. If there's any delay, it's only somebody, take a gawker.
Well, would they,
Yeah, look at that, yeah.
with the, in order to start the pouring process, they actually poured a 30-inch thick concrete wall to provide a starting off point to make sure within that 30 inches that they had everything aligned with the proper, angle.
Oh, yeah, that was the picture.
And also, angle both vertical and horizontal to make sure that they were going to the right spot, so.
Yeah.
Actually, assuming the meeting's not gonna be too much longer, I do have some video that I can show you.
Oh, cool.
The one drill bit in the United States that can do this before.
That's awesome.
No kidding.
I've seen it. The water tunnel in New York.
Awesome.
That drill, fun drill.
Well, with that, does anyone have anything else for Smithfield Gateway before we proceed to, payment of the bills?
Good luck with that, that's,
All right, so we've
Okay,
got,
so-
3 sets of bills, 2 that are ratifying and 1 that's current. The current bill, the previous general fund was for 7,000 even, and then the last one was, $74,840.26 for the general, and $22,052.60. And with today's, bills, that adds up to, with 3 bill periods, a grand total of $164,103.58.
Jacob, can I make a brief comment? I'm looking at the bill, the first bill on top, and the recap is the Boucher and James bill for $14,187.22. In reality, over $12,000 of that is reimbursable to us. So it's to realize that, that we're being covered with, our protections, our escrow.
Most of that is the inspection fees relative to the Gateway project.
Yeah, I was gonna guess that most of that bill will be paid by our company.
And it's appreciated. We're doing better than ever on these reimbursables, so that means we're not hemorrhaging, which is good. And it also includes, free payrolls and, variety of, highway, equipment and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion that we, meet our obligations here?
Yeah, I'll make that motion that we pay.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You already think so,
Robert, how do you cast your vote on the payment of the bill?
He raised his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
He raised his hand.
all right. Aye, all right, good. Okay, our next item is public comments. Does anyone have any public comments either on Zoom or here in person?
I actually have one, hopefully very briefly. I got an email, from Barry Isaac this afternoon, if we want to pursue the LSA grant, which is due sometime, I can't find it right now, September 30th, due September 30th. We need to let them know by the end of the month. By the end of July. So I apologize for this.
Okay.
This is one of the grants originally that we had considered using as an offset for the BCED, GTRP, Marshall Falls Institute that we just applied for. I'll need to look into everything, see what our potential match would be, what we could apply for. But this is one of those things that we can help cover the $284,000 match that we promised for that. So I'm looking for let's pursue this start writing grant and stuff, or no, let's not go after this grant.
I mean, I'd like to hear the numbers. I mean, what would our match to this, like, is there a specific, percentage?
LSA is no requirement.
Oh,
No,
but to be competitive, you probably should.
We'd like to see a match.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's no match?
And we'll need to put up funds, based on the engineering that the entire project is going to cost. We will have to match and have additional funds available, but
Yeah.
I don't have those numbers yet, and I didn't want to start down that path until I kicked that out to the board.
I'd like to, if we can offset, the other huge grant with this other one with, a limited match or something, I'd like to see where it goes.
I will, tell Mary that the answer is presumably yes, and then I will have hard numbers for you at the next meeting, where you can decide yes or no, if that works.
But again, we have to move on this before the end of July.
Barry had asked for an answer if we were planning on applying the grant.
And nothing was there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're not committing any funds at this time, we're not signing any resolutions, it's just are we moving forward or are we turning our back on it?
Yeah, I'd like to, see what comes of it first.
Okay.
Jacob, because they consider those local funds, and not state grants,
Mm-hmm.
so it's coming from,
Oh, it's the gaming revenues, right?
it's the game.
The LSA, I believe.
It can be used as match for other state programs.
Well, that's good.
We know a little bit of how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, I have a question. Julia's been doing a real good job of running down, plastic wood.
Yeah.
Do we have a way forward? Are we going to try to get the samples from?
I contacted Paul Phillips, who is our representative for that. I'm not sure if they created a new product between the last time we spoke with them, or if they want to send us another product. This new 5/4 by 8 that they're offering, offers 200 TFL on 24-inch center, which is stronger than any of the other materials that they've sent to us. back in November, the board approved the color of the barefoot sand swimwear deck.
Okay.
And at this point, we just need to know if we should use the 5/4 by 8 that they're sending us now, or if we want to go with one of the other things that we've already received.
Is it 5/4, is it a little thicker or?
It's 1 point, well, the actual width is 1.05 inches. Actually, if you stand by for a moment, figure that.
From what I understand, it's more durable and, you know, it'll be better for like wheelchairs and other accessibility devices.
That's gonna come into play, so that's the whole intent,
Yeah.
really. So,
Personally, I'm willing to go with whatever color everybody thinks is nice. I think they're all fine.
I
yeah.
just wanna get Mr. Jenkins off the dime, because he's not gonna go unless he's telling specifically what to do.
well, I
Right.
remember last year when, you and I and Robert looked at them, I think you and I
Yeah.
agreed on that one.
It's
Just a nice,
the barefoot sand color, we don't
Yeah.
have it in front of us and can't show it to the public because this isn't working. It's basically slightly more yellow than this.
Yeah.
This is the
Nice.
standard 2x6.
2x6.
2x6. This is their 2x8. And then this is a 1/2 inch by 10 that we're just not using at all. But the 5/4 by 8 that they are suggesting we use because it's got a really good load strength, is approximately a third less thick than this.
A third less
Yeah,
than that particular one.
this is called a 2x8, its actual measure is 1.5 by 7.5. So the actual measurement on the
5/4,
thank you, is 1.05.
which would be equivalent to a decking board in timber framing.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that would be adequate.
Sounds more than fine to me.
I guess the question becomes, and I don't know when we can do this, we're probably gonna have to figure it out. Are we gonna purchase the material directly? Just ask Mr. Jenkins to install it? Or are we gonna tell him, okay, we've done all your work for you,
Yeah.
contact these people and order it, accept the delivery and install it? I mean, those are the two ways we can go.
I don't wanna make this, I really don't know what more you could have done personally to get them to understand the scope of work, but whatever you think is the easiest, if you think it's best that we buy the stuff directly and preclude them from being a middleman on that, you know?
So, we run will there be any concern related?
Can I say something? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can anyone hear me?
Yep.
I would just suggest we buy it. This has gone on for so long. It's just gotten tiresome. Buy the stuff, put it in the bid, get it over with.
Will we run afoul of any concerns that this was publicly bid out and then we're purchasing it and handing it over to the contractors?
I think, are you using any kind of grant funds for this or anything?
Yes, this is phase 1 of the wellness park. So that is a,
Well, I think we have to defer to Ron on part of the answer. I think the only real objection you might get would be from another bidder, and I really don't think they care. First of all, I don't think they're ever gonna know. Secondly, if they do know, I don't think they're gonna care because it's such a minute part of the contract.
Yeah, their bids also weren't close.
it is a DCED grant for $84,000 that's covering this. And then we are using those funds from DCED and our match to match a DCNR grant for $92,000.
I would say that this could be part of your match.
Yes.
You purchase this and provide it, it's part of your match.
So it would come out of the $12,000 that.
Right, and then we're gonna have to negotiate this with the contractor, but just based on his performance to date, I agree with Robert. I just think it's easier if we just get it delivered to the site and say, listen, install this.
Right.
And I think that's gonna work better for the township. We're gonna have to negotiate a deduct from his contract for material costs, and I think we should tell him it's gonna be exactly what we pay,
Yeah.
and go from there.
It would be exactly what we pay, and actually, in that part of his bid, he could have been a little bit higher, but so
He could have been higher, could have been lower, I don't know what he bid. I mean, we have the bids, but I don't know how he priced it.
Yeah. I think it makes the most sense to go that direction, and we don't need to, this should have been done a while ago.
Yes.
I'd like to get this done this summer.
The faster that we can get an answer, if we need to clear it with Ron, I did receive word, and I told you guys, they're mobilizing for part 2 in the park on Monday the 26th.
26,
So
yeah.
if we can get this done, so the materials are there, they will be quite happy that they can work on the projects that are literally across the street from one another.
I will tell Mr. Jenkins that what the board's decision is. I'll send him an email tomorrow and tell him that we're gonna negotiate a deduct from his contract and see what kind of response we get to that.
Okay.
Because you haven't placed the order yet, so.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we would know, through you, the quantity and.
We can figure that out, yes.
Right. It's on the bid doc too, right?
Boom,
Yes.
we just,
Should be.
Okay. All right.
But we'll double check it since we're immersing ourselves in this, which I really don't like to do, but I wanna see the project get done.
Yeah.
So-
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. That said, do we have any other comments before I'll entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll second the motion, Jacob.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Second. Aye.
You got it. Time more.
Yeah.
You got more seconds.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Robert. We will, talk to you soon.
Robert, yeah,
Okay.
enjoy.
Good night, Robert.
Thank you
Good night,
very
all.
much.
Good morning,
Thank you.
Robert.
Good night. Good
Night.
morning is right. Good night, everybody.